have a entry retaining counsel.
Very good. State counsel. Very good. Raymond Tensing, do you understand you've been charged with 1 count of murder and 1 count of voluntary manslaughter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has the defendant been served?
He has, Judge.
Very good. Does defense waive reading of the indictment?
We do.
What is the plea?
Pleads not guilty.
As to bond?
As to bond, Judge, Ray is 25 years of age. He's single, has no children. He lives in Colerain Township. He's a lifelong resident of Hamilton County. He's a graduate of Colerain High School, cum laude graduate from the University of Cincinnati with a Bachelor of Science degree. He was employed up till yesterday by the University of Cincinnati Police Department for the past year and a half. Prior to that, he was a 4-year employee of the Green Hills Police Department. He has an exemplary record. He has no prior criminal conviction. He surrendered yesterday immediately upon learning of the issuance of this indictment. He is not a risk to flee. He has family. His father is present in the courtroom with whom he resides in Colerain Township. The purpose of bond is to assure that he will appear. I don't believe there's ever been any reason to think that he would not appear when he's told to be here. I would ask the court to consider an OR bond. I know you won't do that, but I'd ask you to make it something reasonable so that he could be released.
Very good. State.
Judge, I don't know that I've ever asked for less than $1 million on a murder case. I think that's appropriate in a murder case, and we would ask for $1 million bond on this case.
Very good. The defendant is facing the possibility of life in prison. It's the court's duty to ensure his appearance. The bond will be $1 million anyway.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a courtroom. You will conduct yourselves at all times appropriately. The next DSC date is August 19th at 9 a.m. Is the defendant waiving time?
At this point, he is not, Judge.
Very good. Gentlemen, I'll see you all here August 19th at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Judge.
Stay seated.
There you have it. Former officer Ray Tensing arraigned for the first time before Judge Shanahan on 1-count murder, 1-count manslaughter. We have attorney Randy Zelin here. Walk us through what you just heard there.
Well, what I heard was a judge who should have taken the bench and said, listen, I've already determined what the bond's going to be. You're not getting any individualized justice. I don't care what is said about the purpose of bail. I've never set bail below $1 million on a murder case, and I'm not breaking that tradition now. She just should have said, listen, guys, don't bother with your arguments. And that's just wrong. I understand that this is a horrific case. Someone is dead, and perhaps that is where you start and stop, but this is real-life criminal justice. Defendants are presumed innocent. They have constitutional rights, including the right to bail. And what is bail all about? Are you going to come back to court when you're supposed to? And when you take someone who has no history of not coming to court, lives in the area, grew up in the area, voluntarily turned himself in. So if there was ever a time I was going to split to a place with no extradition, I would have done it before I turned myself in. And for the judge to absolutely just say, I'm not even listening, that at least would have been genuine to me. $1 million bail? Well, the good news is, with a bail bondsman, if the family has $1 million worth of property or security or collateral, the bond premium will probably be 5% of that. So for $50,000 and property, he can go home. And perhaps that's the right thing for him because, again, it's simply about are you going to come back to court, not are you guilty.
And he's due back in court August 19th. What are we expecting to hear when that happens?
It'll probably be just a status conference. There'll be a conversation about discovery because the defense is entitled to know certain things about the case, and the defense will start making their demands, their requests of the prosecutor to say, show me what you got, and the statute provides for that.
We heard some applause in the courtroom, and you reacted very strongly when we were listening to it. Tell me about that.
there is the emotional side of this, and I understand that. But clapping, we're not at a Reds game. We're not at a Yankee game. Someone is dead. Applauding to what end? Because, so now the officer stays in jail. It's not going to bring anybody back. It's not going to give anybody any sense of justice. Whether or not he goes home is not going to change ultimately what justice is going to determine here. And when a jury hears the evidence and makes a decision, that's where justice gets done. Clapping, applauding, to what end?
Randy, we in this country give our police officers a certain privilege, and that is the burden of proof to prove that they've done something wrong when they're attempting to foil a crime is very, very high. There have been, according to the Washington Post, over 500 police shootings in this country since the beginning of the year. There are 3, counting this one, where we have seen video of those shootings. Eric Harris in Oklahoma, and Walter Scott in South Carolina, and now Samuel DuBose. These body cameras, they're really an important tool, would you say, going forward in how we police officers?
But the critical pieces, to what end? It clearly is not, and I hate to use the word deter, but it clearly is not deterring police officers from thinking about the consequences of their actions, because we're seeing it happening anyway.
Right, and someone even posited last night on one of the newspaper sites that perhaps Officer Tenzing really, in filing this police report, which now looks to be false, that he actually believed that he was going to be run over or that he was in potential danger. And the mind is a powerful thing in moments of adrenaline, in moments of stress, and that's what he believed. And perhaps the other officer who was there saw the same thing, and that's why they two agreed on that. Is that, if you're a defense attorney, is that something that you throw out there for the jury?
You may throw it out there, but I think it's exactly that. You're throwing it out there, and you sure as hell hate to go to trial where I'm just going to throw it out there and try to create reasonable doubt, particularly in this environment. You talk about police officers having a privilege. These days, it's probably the opposite. You've got a strike and a half, 2 strikes against you as a police officer when you are accused of this kind of crime. And the presumption of innocence with cops these days, when they are charged as defendants, I think it's even more difficult. But you don't want to walk in there saying, hey, you know what, let me take a shot at this. Unfortunately, the evidence does not seem to be consistent with the officer's defense. But again, it's so early on.
That it needs to play out in court,
right,
is what you're saying. You're looking at the legal system here and how is it playing out, and to set emotion aside at this point.
I would not be surprised if this case ends up being resolved with a disposition. I think the defense is going to be looking for, okay, and it's like an old saying in our business, which is, all I want at the end of the day, give me a check for the meal that I ordered. If I ordered a burger, Mr. Prosecutor, give me a check for a burger. Don't give me a check for filet mignon. This is not murder one. You want to talk about manslaughter? Something along those lines, which is more consistent with the facts, which is this guy snapped in the heat of the moment for whatever the reason. Then we can have a conversation about a resolution, because based upon the evidence and that body cam, I'd rather be the prosecutor than the defense attorney trying this case, but not on a murder one. That part, to me, you are going for it all. You want to push all your chips in. You don't do that in a criminal courtroom. You go in there with what you can prove.
I was speaking to an attorney last night, Randy, and I was talking about the body cams, and they said, you know, even without this video, there are ways, forensic ways, for investigators to figure out what happened, what went down. Is that possible if you don't have this tape? If this tape doesn't exist, is Officer Tenzing in court today?
He may be in court. It may not have been today, but at some point he would have been, just because of the climate. But at that point, I'll take back what I just said. I'd rather be representing him without that body cam. You could take all the forensics you want. Forensics are boring. Forensics are dry. Forensics are subject to subjectivity. You cross-examine government experts all day long. They weren't there.
Right.
Well, it takes us to Ferguson.
That body cam,
Exactly.
No body camera
the body
there.
cam, we are there as it is happening. There is no more stronger, no more compelling evidence.
All right.
We're going to continue to follow this story. It is an interesting one, and as you point out, Randy, there is a man who is dead, and a man's life is in jeopardy right now as he stands before a judge. We're going to continue to bring you more updates on this story as we get them. Randy Zelin, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it.